Hi everyone, today I'm going to tackle Sebastian Rogers again, and for the exact same reason as to why I spoke about the Delphi case. Like I said, whatever crime or mystery we'll be tackling this year, the only criteria will be to seek justice in some form, lending support to the good guys fighting for justice and social justice. Now, because Sebastian's mother and stepfather were relatively quiet, I did not think this case would turn into a circus, but it did. The stepfather, instead of thinking, I'm not guilty of anything, I have nothing to defend myself against, so I'll have my say once and then shut up. No. It appears instead that he is under the impression, or he thinks, he has to publicly defend himself and or his wife against any and all allegations, which tells me that they do have something to hide. It may or may not have anything to do with Sebastian's disappearance, but looking at stepdad Chris's behavior, I think there's definitely something which they do not want anyone to know about. Remember, just as the lady can protest too much, so can the man. And I'm just saying. Anyway, just like with the Delphi case, the main reason why I am on here is because of a small number of YouTube creators who think they know it all and only they can be right. Everyone else are either backyard detectives or delusional or just after money or slick. One creator hates and belittles each and every person who physically gets involved with any case. And it is sickening. Yet she has a hefty number of followers singing her praises, although she's clearly either a narcissist or has some kind of mental health issues. Anyway, moving on. I'm practically sure that everyone listening to my video knows who Sebastian Waindrake Rogers is. And if you don't, then please Google him or watch one of my previous videos. I really want to get through this one in one sitting. Okay, so although there are woody areas in and around Hendersonville, I did watch a video of someone, can't remember the bloke's name, who took us through some of the woods, and for whatever reason you do not have the same thick undergrowth we saw in the search for summer wells. I think you will see that in some of Silver's on the scenes earlier videos as well. I think if you look at some of those, you will also notice the difference. I'm therefore fairly confident that Sebastian is not in that 5-mile radius of the search, unless he is buried or fairly deep underwater and a reasonable distance from the shore, but somehow kept either under the water or under the ground. That is, if he is not alive anymore, of course. So, I mean, where could Sebastian be? Very likely anywhere between his home and wherever any one of his family, step-family, or acquaintances of the family drove to between 10 p.m. on the 21st and say 10 p.m. on the 26th or 27th. And then again, he may even be moved from where he was at the time. I firmly believe that he was, one way or the other, alive or deceased, driven out of the area. But like I just said, the question remains, was he driven out, dead or alive? I somehow do not think Sebastian was lured out of his home by a stranger. There was a carrot held in front of him by someone who knew him or knew of him, or he was drugged inside the house and taken out. I do not think he was killed inside the house either. If he was, it had to have been something like asphyxiation or a drug overdose, as I'm sure there would have been some trace if there was indeed blood. I, however, think if Sebastian is no longer alive, that he was drugged and taken out of the house after he was. I really have a hard time thinking that Sebastian ran away with no coat, no shoes. When we look at the other people in the video outside of the restaurant, it is clear that everyone, including Katie, are either wearing hoodies or lightweight jackets. Sebastian, however, has bare arms, but he's a teenager. I can tell you that I'm in a jersey or a coat, jeans and boots, and my grandson will still be wearing shorts and a t-shirt. However, it was still relatively early as well. I do not know whether we are all looking at different websites, but according to the web page I looked at, the lowest temperature the night of Sunday, February the 21st, was 36 degrees Fahrenheit or 2.22 degrees Celsius. And Monday night, the 26th of February, the lowest temperature was 55 degrees Fahrenheit or 12 degrees Celsius. Seeing that a human being can start suffering from hypothermia with prolonged exposure to temperatures below 10 degrees Celsius, and it can also be held on with the use of certain medications and by certain medical conditions even. Hypothermia can still not be ruled out. I mean, folks, I researched it a little. There are many medications which can cause you to feel cold or colder than you should, and those include beta blockers, antidepressants, thyroid medications, statins, antibiotics, immunosuppressants, hormone replacement therapy, and here is the clanger, ADHD medications. Hypothermia also does not occur due to the outside temperature, but it happens when the body's core temperature drops below 35 degrees Celsius. Someone who is thin and has a shortage of certain B vitamins and iron could also experience cold differently. So I cannot see Sebastian leaving on his own accord and not taking a jacket or shoes. Sebastian had issues, but he wasn't stupid. He was also on the spectrum, so no way, particularly if it was not his habit to go barefoot. Why would he go barefoot in the dark? Now, I want to debunk another story which a certain YouTuber or YouTubers are refusing to put right, because then it would prove them wrong. Well, boo-hoo, my dear. Do your homework and tell it all, not just what suits your narrative. The mystery surrounding Sebastian and Max the dog who jumped in the pond has finally been solved. Max is a general tracking dog and was first on the scene. He was not given anything of Sebastian's to smell whatsoever. So, whatever or whomever he tracked was not necessarily Sebastian. So there you go. So that is why there was confusion. When scent specific dogs were given Sebastian's scent, they were basically all over the place, which also makes sense because Sebastian lived there, and we know he walked around in the neighborhood. If he got home from the Texas Roadhouse and he got out of the car and also took the trash out, then there should have been fresh scent on the road as well. Alternatively, they could have been tracking the previous day's scent. So to say Sebastian was 100% tracked to the pond is indeed false. It is possible that he was not tracked for the night of the 25th of February on the morning of the 26th at all. And all I know is that it is virtually impossible for Sebastian to have walked out of that house by himself. Either he didn't make it home, but I think he did, and that is because of law enforcement. Law enforcement seems to be fairly certain that he made it home, in which case it is my opinion that he was carried out or driven out. So my suggestion for honest, serious, and decent true crime reporters would be to stop worrying about other creators or Nick or Dog or Tony. You do you, and you do your own research without knocking and slandering anyone else. At least those people, Dog and Nick and Tony and whoever else, are doing something, and not like other people who just listen to their story, not do anything, or are so far away they can't do anything, yet they are constantly harassing or slandering the people who are actually still trying. At night, intelligence agency is not a one-man operation working out of his mother's garage, okay? I would suggest that the YouTuber who said they were likely a one-man operation without an office, etc., have a read on One World Media's website, because you will see that at night, private intelligence agency is part of One World. Retainers for their services range from $25,000 to $1 million. So there you go. Bow your head in embarrassment. I think it's time YouTubers stop criticizing the professionals and rather be proactive in trying to help and support anyone who's doing anything, and which may lead to the recovery of Sebastian one way or another. Okay, people of the palace, I will get back to you as soon as possible. I am busy researching other cases, and we are going to discuss it on a more academic level. And we're going to give all this sensational rubbish a miss, if you don't mind. Okay, so until the next one, please take good care of yourselves. Stay safe. Bye.